Okay, so now that I have both of those saved, what I want to do is, you can just analyze those separately. You could analyze NADH2 and NADH4 and get a tree for both of those and see how the trees are similar or different, and talk about your evolutionary project in light of those two trees. But you also could combine the two data sets. Okay, this is called concatenation. So what I want to do is basically put them, like, I have my one data set here and then stick the other one right next to it, but making sure that the same species for both data sets is on the same line, right? Now obviously you could try to sit and copy and paste this and do it that way, but of course we're in bioinformatics, and so why would we ever do that if there's a program that exists that already can do that for us? And if not, we would create a program. But there is one, and the program that I like to use, I'm going to open up a new window here, is called Sequence Matrix. Sequence Matrix. And if you go to, I think it's this link. And let's see. Let's see, what do we want to do? Download latest release. And so the latest released here is 1.8, and you download whatever version you're running, a Mac OS or Windows, you download that. And then once you've downloaded that, open it up on your system and everything. I've already have it downloaded on mine. I've got 1.78. I'm going to download the newest version. So I'll be doing this along with you. Okay, so I download it, click on the folder to open it up, and it's simply just a regular folder like this. And so I'm going to just stick this inside of my applications folder on my Mac. So here's my applications folder, and I did already have this thing called Sequence Matrix from before right here, but it was 1.7. So I'm actually just going to delete all of those older files. And then I'm going to grab all of these new files and just put them into my Sequence Matrix. Oh, I've got to authenticate again. And then I'm actually going to change the name of this to 1.8, just so that I remember that I've got that version. Okay. I have to keep authenticating. All right. So now this program then is a Java file, and so I'm just going to click on the sequencematrix.app. Oh. Okay, I'm going to have to install Java 6. Is that what it said? Java 6. All right, because I have a newer version running on my computer. It doesn't like that. So I've got to... So this is going to install a older version of Java that works with this program. This is part of the problems always with bioinformatics stuff, is that, you know, as your operating system upgrades, sometimes the programs don't, and this is just one of the things you always deal with. So don't get frustrated by this. This is what I have to deal with too all the time. You can tell I didn't run through this all the way, this tutorial all the way before doing it, but that's okay. This helps you see what you have to do. So it's asking me to give access. I'm looking on my other screen to do some of this, but basically I'm just installing this Java, just pushing I agree and continue. Oh no. All right, well, I have tried to figure out how we can combine files, and I used to use this program called Sequence Matrix. if you don't have an updated version of Java, that may still be able to work for you. But I've spent quite a bit of time here looking. This is the best tool that I've came up with, unless you know how to write in Linux or R or other kind of actually write these things down in a program. Then this is what you're going to have to do. Well, you could just do this manually. You could even do it on like an Excel spreadsheet. You can almost imagine like the names of your species, and then you actually paste the Fasta sequence in like the next cell of one gene, and then in the other of the next gene in the next cell, and then export that as a text file. You could kind of work that around this way. But here's this tool that I found. So this tool, basically, it's called Fasta Alignment Joiner, and the entire line there is users dash berk.au.dk / I don't know, this whole thing. I'll post this the actual web address so that you guys can get to this place. But it's called Fasta Alignment Joiner, and basically what it does is this. So let me show you the example that they have here. So they have sequence number 1, sequence number 1, sequence number 2, right, from 2 different files. And what this will do is it'll combine them. So if I click on Join Alignments, then notice down here it joins them, and then you can click on this button, and it does a download of that thing, where you can just copy that, and you get them joined. The only caveat is they have to be the exact same number of sequences, and they have to have the exact same names, or it'll throw an error and it won't work. Because I tried doing it with, let me get back to the main page. Hold on, back here to the. Okay, so here's the blank page. When I chose the 2 files that I had made, and then I put join alignments, it says the alignments hold different number of sequences, and then the names are probably different. I'm not even sure if the names matter. I don't know, maybe it will. Let's see which one of these had more or less. It was that I don't remember. But if I get rid of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, this is the one that had more. So if I get rid of this one, now they should have the same number of sequences, because remember, a sequence is determined by the greater than sign. So now let's see if I put join. Yeah, so it does join them, and it looks like what it does is it takes whatever the name was in the first sequence and automatically join it with whatever the first sequence is in the next file, and then they just join them together. So you'd have to have your sequences in the exact same order and the same number of them, and if you did that, you could use this tool to join them. So I'm sorry the other tool's not working. It might work on yours. Again, it's called that sequence matrix, and it's a pretty nifty tool. They've got some example files, and you can work with that as well. I'm really sorry. That's how I've always done it in the past, but the new version of Java now doesn't work with that older version of the program sequence matrix. But here's a workaround. Now, having said that, if you don't concatenate your files, fine. Just do 2 separate trees and look at those trees. Or the other option, remember, is that if you just download like the entire mitochondrial genome, then that's 16 genes, so that's plenty. You don't need to do more than that. So we'll just keep it at that, and if you do it, great, and if not, it's not a big deal. But there's a kind of a workaround tool that you could use.